Does Nintendo have a secret holiday sales strategy, or are they just failing?
Because in my opinion, they just made a massive mistake with the Switch 2, like a mistake they haven't made in over a decade. You see, Nintendo just kept their promise to kill off their most successful Switch 2 model, but here's the thing: if their most successful model is no longer successful, are they smart to kill it off or not? Is Nintendo 2 steps ahead of us or 2 steps behind? Because while Nintendo is ending production of one of their Switch 2 models already, retailers just dropped the price on it again to try to scrape together some last minute holiday sales. So does Nintendo have some sort of master plan to turn this ship around, or were they just completely blindsided by the sales collapse of the Switch 2? Today, let's dive deep to analyze Nintendo's latest mistake, but first, what's going on, guys? Cheers. Now, before we jump in, I just want to thank everybody who's been liking and hyping the videos lately. The support on the last couple of uploads has been honestly insane. Like, I really just can't believe it. So genuinely, guys, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if this is my last upload before Christmas, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, whatever you celebrate. Doesn't matter to me, just have a great time and Happy New Year. And with that out of the way, let's jump right in here. If you want a Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundle, you might want to act soon. I actually kind of disagree with that, but we'll talk about that in a minute. We knew this would happen at some point, but it appears that things are somewhat official. The launch day bundle for the Nintendo Switch 2 that packed in the first $80 modern video game Mario Kart World for one appealing price is reportedly no longer in production. As we can see here, this was shared over on Twitter by Nintendo, confirmed the Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundle has officially ended production according to an internal GameStop memo. Quote, "This bundle SKU has now reached end of life cycle and additional units will no longer be produced. While still available, this bundle should be recommended to customers as a great value, offering an additional value of $29.99 versus purchasing the game and console separately. Future replenishment of Nintendo Switch 2 will be the base console." Now, for those of us that have been paying attention to Nintendo and the Switch 2 since it was first revealed, this will come as no surprise because this was a tweet posted by the official Nintendo of America Twitter account. They said the Switch 2 Mario Kart World bundle, which includes the system and a full game download, will launch on June 5th. That was the launch day for the Switch 2, and they replied, "Limited time production through fall 2025, available while supplies last." So from day one, it was always supposed to be the case that this bundle would not make it past fall of 2025. Now, again, if you've been paying attention to Nintendo and the Switch 2 sales over the last 6 or so months, you'll know that like 80% of sales for the Switch 2 have been the Mario Kart World bundle. That's not, to be clear, I don't know the exact percentage, okay? I'm a goofball, I just made that number up, but everybody knows a vast majority of the Switch 2s out there are the Mario Kart World bundle. It's no surprise because, as the GameStop memo says, you save $30 if you were going to buy the console and the game anyway. Okay, it's an $80 game. If you buy the bundle, it's effectively a $50 game, so you save $30. Actually, according to this tweet, 8.1 million units of Mario Kart World's 9.57 million unit sales are from the Switch 2 bundle, so 84% of people who bought Mario Kart World got it with their Switch 2. Okay, so I don't know what the ratio is of Mario Kart World bundles to Switch 2 total sales, but I think 80%, like, that's not that insane of a guess, right? And if we take a look at the list of best-selling Switch 1 video games, you'll see that it's Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it's not even close. And part of the reason for that was because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was bundled with so many Switch units. The strategy there was tremendously successful for the entire lifespan of the Switch 1. Mario Kart 8 is a fantastic game. Everybody seemed to love it. It's mass appealing. It's fun in single player, multiplayer, online, small parties with friends. It's the most mass appealing game that is on the original Switch. And so having the launch bundle for the Switch 2 be the successor to the most successful bundle for the Switch 1 is a no-brainer business decision. And it's a no-brainer that it was the best-selling model of the Switch 2. So why did they commit to discontinuing this bundle? And even more confusing, why did they double down and actually do it? Like, they actually just ended the production of the Mario Kart World bundle. Before we get into what's actually happening with the Mario Kart World bundle, let me give you guys my theory as to why they did this, okay? My theory as to why they initially came out and said that this would be a limited time bundle is so that way when the Nintendo fans went to the store to buy the Switch 2 at launch, they would see see the Mario Kart World bundle and assume that this was going to be some sort of limited supply thing, right? I mean, they literally said while supplies last. That specific choice of words is a subtle FOMO tactic, the fear of missing out, right? You don't want to miss out on a good deal, and using FOMO as a tactic to drive up demand for a particular product, especially when it's Nintendo, especially with a new console. Back then we didn't really know the launch supply of the system. Like, we knew they were stockpiling it for launch, but we didn't know it was going to be like this. So with the uncertainty and the FOMO, and it's Nintendo and it's Mario Kart and it's expensive, so we can save a couple of dollars by getting the bundle, I think they announced that this would be a limited time because not only did they want to drum up that demand and FOMO, but also I think that they were so confident in the Switch 2 and in Mario Kart World specifically that they thought before launch that they could easily get $80 for Mario Kart World after this bundle was gone. I really do think that was their thought process. They thought, we'll give them a bundle at the start of it to drum up launch demand and have a bigger install base, and then after that, this Mario Kart World game is so good and it's going to be in such high demand that people will have no problem spending $80 on it plus the $450 for the base console. That's honestly why I think they announced that this was going to be a limited time thing. I genuinely think it was just a standard expected business practice to maximize profits. Why give away the game for $50 if you think you can get 80 for it, obviously? But here's the best part, okay? This is honestly my favorite part. The Mario Kart World bundle just got a surprise discount again. Holy smokes. My original analysis of the Mario Kart World bundle discount for Cyber Monday was so incredibly accurate. It's aging like fine wine. I almost feel bad for the people that didn't see it that way because it was so obvious. Like, they're getting blindsided now. They're like, wait a minute, why did I what? Okay, before I go off on a tangent, let's actually just see what's going on here. Okay, the original article that we're looking at here over on Kotaku was from Cyber Monday, but you can see at the very bottom the article was updated on December 22nd at 8:30 in the morning. It says, and the deal is back in stock again at Best Buy and Amazon via Wario64 over on Twitter. Depending on where you live, you can get it same day pickup for delivered in case you still need that last minute gift for a special someone who might also just be you. It doesn't appear to be selling out that quickly either. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a second, so let's see it for ourselves, folks. This is over on Amazon, and by the way, you no longer have to add it to your cart to see the price drop. This is literally, they just come out and say it. It's the Mario Kart World bundle for $449.99. It is what it is. You save $50. If we take a look at my Best Buy cart, you'll see that this is the Mario Kart World bundle Nintendo Switch 2. Save $50. It is a $50 discount right out of the gate. And then funny enough, over at Walmart, you'll see that the price is now $469.99, and I think this might not be from Walmart directly. This might be from a different seller, but what I do find interesting is that they are not just advertising a lower price. They're not just advertising that it's the bundle so as to drum up hype for Mario Kart World, but they are also advertising 0% APR on gaming gifts with one pay later. Oh baby, going into debt for a Switch 2 with Mario Kart World. Hey, listen, hey, look, all right, I know times are tough right now, and if you got that special someone, they're dying for this thing. I get it, right? I get it. I'm not a financial advisor. I wouldn't recommend going into debt for stuff like this, especially it's a gaming console. It's not a necessity. You can wait a little bit. I know it sucks, but again, if you're getting it for that special someone, I get it. Okay, I understand. Now let's just quickly go over what's been going on with the Mario Kart World bundle in the month of December. Okay, Cyber Monday, December 1st, Walmart drops the price by $50. Target and Best Buy and Amazon, actually I don't remember if Best Buy, they might just be price matching, but either way, all the major retailers in the United States effectively matched that discount with a $50 price drop for Mario Kart World bundle. The hardcore Nintendo fans came out of the woodworks defending Nintendo as if they're going to get a quarterly bonus after the next shareholder meeting. All right, they're coming out here saying, oh, it's just one retailer. It's not. Oh, it's just for Cyber Monday. It wasn't. In fact, it lasted like 10 days. Like, they literally left it up all throughout the week and into the weekend. That deal lasted way longer than pretty much any other Cyber Monday deal that we saw, right? Then it came out through Circana that the Switch 1 and Switch 2 sales for this November were worse than Switch 1 sales last year, which is horrible news for the Switch 2 because this is its first holiday season out in the wild. This is when all the normies are supposed to be buying the system, and the Switch 2 sells worse in its first November than the Switch 1 did in its last November as the main Nintendo console. That's crazy, and that gave us context to the $50 price drop for the bundle. The retailers saw that it was not selling as well as they thought it would. They were forced to lower the price to move as many units as possible. The discount went away, the data came out, we talked about it here on the channel, and now here we are, less than 72 hours away from Christmas. And if there was any doubt left in anybody's mind that this wasn't a that this wasn't your typical Cyber Monday deal, you've got your answer. It's not a Cyber Monday deal 21 days later, sorry. This price drop at first glance might have looked like a Cyber Monday deal, but the truth is people aren't buying it. At least they're not buying it as much as these retailers or as Nintendo thought they would. And that's not even to mention the fact that Micro Center still has a $50 discount on the base model. This is $400, $399 for the base model Switch 2, completely disposing of the idea that it's just the bundle that's getting discounted, and this is being price matched at Best Buy. We already talked about this in a previous video. So let's return to the original question from the beginning of this video. Is Nintendo 2 steps ahead or 2 steps behind? Because remember what I said at the start of this video, I feel like Nintendo just made a massive mistake with the Switch 2, one that they haven't made in over a decade, and that's referring to the Switch 1. If we take a look here, as recently as last Black Friday, so 2024, we saw Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundles for the Switch and the Switch OLED. So basically you would just pay the normal price for the Switch and you would get Mario Kart for free, right? For free. And that is effectively what we are seeing right now play out at all the retailers across the USA, at Best Buy, Amazon, whatever. You pay $449 for the Switch 2, which is supposed to be the price of the base model, but you get the game. So historically, throughout the entire life of the original Nintendo Switch, they have been bundling Mario Kart with the system in order to sell units. That way, when little Timmy gets it on Christmas morning, he's got a game to play out of the box right away. And also they would do things like bundle 12 months of Switch Online membership, which is insane, right? So Nintendo, even as recently as last year, used to be generous enough to be bundling all these freebies with their console while leaving the console at a competitive price. This time around, Nintendo, after 6 months, has already discontinued the Mario Kart bundle, which again, their entire strategy with the Switch 1 relied on that bundle and other bundles like Animal Crossing and things like that. Okay, I'm not ignorant to that, okay? But let's face it, a lot of people bought the Mario Kart 8 bundle. They've already discontinued the equivalent bundle for the Switch 2 just 6 months into its lifespan. Meanwhile, retailers have to lower the price of that bundle just to move units. So what is Nintendo's strategy here moving forward if they have committed to, at least according to their own tweet and according to a GameStop memo, they've committed to no longer selling the best-selling Switch 2 model and the bundle that's equivalent to the best bundle for the original Switch? What's the plan now? Because like I said earlier, I think that greedy Nintendo thought that Mario Kart World was going to be so successful that people would eventually be willing to spend $80 on it and the $450 for the console. That's why I think they made this a limited time thing. But now that we've got the data and what is the best-selling Switch 2 bundle for the first holiday season needs a discount just to reach sales quotas, they might want to rethink this strategy here, because I don't know what the future looks like for the Switch 2. Are they thinking that there's going to be some other bundle that comes out that's going to be as successful as the Mario Kart World bundle? Because again, unless they're 2 steps ahead and there's some big game coming out that I just have no idea about, and like, why would I? I'm just a stupid YouTuber on the internet. Like, what do I know, right? But like, I can't imagine a more mass appealing game than Mario Kart, right? Because you could say, oh, well, next year, maybe they're going to come out with the 3D Mario game and that's going to be the game. Like, that's going to be the big system seller for the Switch 2 in perpetuity, right? Fair enough. But if we're being honest, Mario Kart is actually a better pack-in game than any 3D Mario game because it has way more replay value and you can enjoy it single player or multiplayer. And I know plenty of Mario games, regular Mario games, 2D, 3D, top down, whatever, I know they have multiplayer, but when you think about the replayability of a racing game, of a kart racer, there's way more replay value for Mario Kart than any 3D Mario game, even if the 3D Mario games are objectively better. The 3D Mario games are the stake, but Mario Kart is the French fries. It's the thing that everybody can reach for without even thinking about it. You can eat it no matter what. It's a good side for any dish, and that's why Mario Kart was such a successful bundle for the Switch 1. So now not only is that bundle gone for the Switch 2 officially, but they can't even sell it for the price they wanted to sell it at on its very first holiday season. So I have no idea what Nintendo's strategy is going to be moving forward. Is this some Galaxy Brain 500 IQ 2 steps ahead strategy where they have something coming down the pipeline that we can't even believe, and that's going to be the Switch 2 system seller? That's going to be the thing that, the hype for the Switch 2 is going to reach levels never before seen? Or did they just commit to making a massive mistake with the Mario Kart World bundle? And if I'm being honest, I genuinely, and I really mean this, I would not be surprised if this is not the end of the Mario Kart World bundle. Really, I think Nintendo, after their first year with the Switch 2, they're going to go back to the drawing board. They're going to look at all the sales data. They're going to look at the state of the economy and with global trade, and they're going to be like, okay, well, we need to figure something out. All right. And there's really, again, unless there's a more mass appealing game than Mario Kart coming down the pipeline, I think they're going to bring it back. I think in year 2 or year 3 for the holiday season, we're going to see a bundle just like this. Now, in order for them to not be hypocrites, they might bundle Mario Kart World with 3 months of Nintendo Online, and they can say, oh, well, it's not the Mario Kart World bundle, it's the Nintendo Online bundle. You get our most popular online game, Mario Kart World, and 3 months of Nintendo Online. It's a whole new bundle. And like, fair enough, that'd be a better deal, right? So that way they can still say, technically, the Mario Kart World bundle from launch is gone. It's over. It was limited production, but they could still bring it back in some other form or fashion in year 2 or year 3 just to drum up those unit sales again, because honestly, they might need it. Honestly, they might need it. Now, I think it's too soon to say, is the Switch 2 a failure? I don't think it's a failure yet. I don't think we can call it. It's only been 6 months. It's been the fastest selling console of all time, right? Like, let's just come back to reality and be realistic here, okay? But moving forward, if they don't have a mass appealing bundle like this, which was like the cornerstone of the Switch 1 discounts, I don't know what they're expecting moving forward if sales are already slowing down for that bundle in its first holiday season. Now let's actually take a look at some of the comments here on this Kotaku article. This person says, not gonna lie, I've barely touched my Switch 2 since launch. Most of my time was on Bravely Default, but after that I haven't been pulled in by any other game to pick it up. This user replies, only played Bonanza and I loved it even though I don't like platformers. Now I'm focused on Prime 4 and couldn't be happier for the next week or so. Then it's back to being an expensive paperweight until the next first party game. And I think this is the biggest thing here. Like, Nintendo just cannot shake the fact that it is purely a first party machine. I mean, there's been lots of Switch 2 third party support, and allegedly reports have come out that 2026 is going to be year of the third party for the Switch 2. Maybe that's true, but is it going to be enough to actually genuinely make people want to buy games for the Switch 2 that are third party? Because for me, I know personally, if it's a game key card, I'm not buying it, right? So if it's third party, I'm just going to get it on PS5. I mean, it's open and shut case. There's no debate there, right? I'm not even going to think twice about it. Even if it's 50% off, on principle, I just simply will not buy it for the Switch 2, right? I will wait for it to be cheaper on PS5. And if all the rumors about the game cards are to be believed, with them releasing smaller sizes of game cards and with the price of game cards going up to manufacture, the odds are that the PS5 version is going to be cheaper than the Switch 2 version anyway. So why would I buy third party on Switch 2? Especially when we see things like Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, their physical release is just not, there's a delay for the physical release, which is so stupid. There's no easier way to guarantee that you won't sell any physical games if you release it after the launch date of every other console and PC. Like, what? This user says, Silk Song and Bonanza and now Metroid Prime 4 have been my main plays. Possibly unpopular opinion, considering it's getting so much Game of the Year love. Bonanza is boring. All it is punching. I had zero desire after completing the game to try to find more bananas or fossils or anything. If you can't find a banana, you have to purchase a map, and the maps cost like 1,000 gold, so you have to then farm gold like crazy if you can't find a banana. I don't remember the mechanism in Odyssey, but if I wanted to get all the moons, I completed some tasks and they would appear on the map. Much better system for completionists like me. Yada yada yada. Okay, fair enough. I also got bored of Bonanza. Frankly, I got probably like 70% of the way through, and I just was like, oh, okay. Like, I just didn't have a desire to finish it. Like, I didn't care enough about the story. I didn't care enough about the gameplay. Like, really, it just kind of got a little bit boring. Like, I know you get different powers and all this, and like there's different mechanics that come with those different powers, and I get it, but like fundamentally, after you've gotten to like level 8 when you're digging through the earth, right, like at a certain point it's like, okay, I get it, right? Like, I get it, the game's just dragging on. It's fantastic if you love that. And really, at the end of the day, I liked Donkey Kong Bonanza. Like, if I'm being honest, if you have a Switch 2, like, that is one of the 2 games I would recommend that you try. I thought it was good. Was it game of the year? No, but it was fine. All that to say, Nintendo is not going to shake the allegations that this is purely a first-party machine. The diehards might buy some third-party stuff for when they travel or when they're at work or whatever the case might be, but realistically, most people are buying a Nintendo console for the Nintendo games. I mean, is that really a shocker? Anyway, let's actually take a look at this economic report by Gallup, because this is really interesting. They say economic confidence slips, holiday spending plans plummet. Consumers' holiday spending estimate has shrunk by over $200 as economic confidence edges down. This is obviously directly related to what we're talking about with the video game industry here. If we scroll down a bit, holiday gift budgets contract by record amount. Along with their heightened economic anxiety in November, consumers expressed much less of an appetite for holiday gift spending compared with earlier in the season. That's because they want to eat dinner. They want to eat food. They want to be able to pay their rent. You can't think about gifts if you're trying to figure out how to pay your cell phone bill. Like, and like, I know that Gallup knows this, right? Like, they obviously study this stuff, so I know that, but like, just the wording here is just so funny to me. It's like, man, people seem to be less interested in spending on gifts. It's like, duh. Americans now estimate they will spend an average of $778 on Christmas or holiday gifts, down $229 from October's 1007. The figure is also significantly below last year's November estimate of 1012. And then here they actually share a chart of how consumers responded here. Roughly, how much money do you think you personally will spend on Christmas or holiday gifts this year? And then here you can see the change from October estimate to November estimate. Right now, look, I don't love this data because literally this is just a poll. They're just asking people, like, how much do you think you'll spend? Like, Americans don't know how much money they spend. Like, let's just be honest, they have no idea. Most people are not financially literate. They're not keeping track of a budget. They are not keeping track of their spending on groceries or this or that or the other thing, unless money's real tight and then they have no choice. But most people are really not super responsible with their finances here. So I don't love the idea that this is just like, this is what I'm estimating to spend. But either way, you know, if we look back, if they, you know, clearly they've done this for a very long time, since 2006 allegedly, when they ask consumers in October, what do you think you're going to spend on Christmas, and then in November, what do you think you're going to spend on Christmas, we've never seen a drop this big since at least 2005, right? They don't show the 05 data. I don't know if they have it or not, but in October, people estimated they would spend about $1,000 on Christmas gifts, and now they're estimating it's going to be $778. That's a massive drop, right? People are just not spending on gifts as much as they thought they would. And so it's no surprise that, you know, when Nintendo releases their most expensive console ever, and in my opinion, they haven't presented a bulletproof value proposition, it's like, well, maybe we'll just wait till next year, right? Maybe next year we'll have more disposable income to buy the new Nintendo thing, and maybe by then there'll be more games out for it, so then it'll be a better value proposition overall. Really, I think that's a big component of what's going on here, and really that doesn't come as much of a surprise, right? Like, if you've been paying attention to the economy at pretty much any point throughout this entire year, this has been a pretty obvious trend. Like, people are spending less because they have less money. And especially if we go back to comments like this, not gonna lie, I've barely touched my Switch 2 since launch. If we're being honest, I think a lot of people are in that boat. I'm in that boat. I am genuinely in that boat. I was excited for the Switch 2 when it came out, and I was like, oh my god, I can get it on launch day. I beat Mario Kart World, 3-starred all the tracks, didn't touch it till Bonanza came out, played a bunch of Bonanza, and then it's just kind of sat behind the TV plugged in, and I've used it to play Banjo-Kazooie, which I didn't need it to play that. It just was the most convenient way to play it. I played Rayman 2 the other day when they put that on the Nintendo Online thing. But really, I genuinely, like, I just beat Elden Ring. I put like 88 hours into Elden Ring. I just haven't had time for the Switch 2, and also, what am I gonna play? At the Nintendo store in New York, I tried Hyrule Warriors, didn't really love it. I didn't think I'd love it because I haven't historically liked the Warriors games, so like, I wasn't delusional going into it. I kind of just knew, like, oh, this game's probably not for me. Tried it out, realized, yeah, this really is not what I'm looking for. Maybe one day I'll give it a more honest go, but it wasn't for me. Metroid Prime 4 came out, and I was deep in Elden Ring, and then I saw all the reviews come out, and I was like, do I want to give this a try? Maybe I'll just wait till maybe it'll drop in price next year. Same thing with Kirby Air Riders. Like, I saw the reviews come out, and I just watched the gameplay, and I'm like, this just doesn't look like a game that I would love. Maybe I'd like it, but really, really the barrier to entry for me is the price of these games, right? They're $70-80, and it's like, you need a home run if I'm gonna jump on it for day one, straight up, right? And that's coming from someone who already owns the console. It's a sunk cost fallacy. I already have the console, right? Like, the money I spent on it is already gone. There is no massive barrier. The barrier is just convincing me which of your games are worth getting, and I have not been convinced yet. This user goes on to say, thing is, this exact refrain is something I've seen talked about with every single console for like the last 3 generations. Buying consoles at launch just usually doesn't mean much. Honestly, a lot of consoles are actually higher value at launch now because of so many cross-platform games. This user says, I've been playing my regular Switch a bit lately, and aside from Tears of the Kingdom looking better on the Switch 2, I bet all the other games I would want to play on it, mainly Mario games, look great on my regular Switch, so I don't see a point in upgrading, and Tears of the Kingdom looks fine on there too anyway. If I want to play something that looks better than Super Mario Wonder or something, I will play it on PC. So you can tell from this comment section, and also from my anecdotal experience, that it's like, it's really the value proposition, right? And you saw the Switch 2s fly off the shelf at launch, and those were obviously hardcore Nintendo fans. We know that now. At first, you know, the Nintendo fanboys were like, oh my god, this is mass appealing, and all the Nintendo haters were like, oh, it's just the fanboys and scalpers. But now that we have the data, we know, yes, it was just the Nintendo fans and the scalpers, I guess. But my point is, people are still willing to spend money on consoles if you give them a value proposition, right? Like, yes, the economy looks horrible right now, but really, like, if this thing had at launch, you know, if it launched with its current lineup plus a 3D Mario plus Smash Bros or plus Zelda, what do you think the odds are that it would sell more? I think it would sell more, really. How much more? I have no idea. I don't know what I'm talking about, but like, it really comes down to a value proposition. And in this current market, you really need to blow the consumer away with what you're offering. And the Switch 2, for most people, I don't think has done that. But guys, that's going to do it for today's video. If you made it to the end of the video, consider dropping a thumbs up down below. It really helps out the channel a ton. And you might think you're subscribed because you've seen a ton of my videos, but you're actually not. Double check down below, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll see you guys soon.